and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.
Now on page 523, W.H. Auden, The Unknown Citizen. To JS-07-M-378, this marble monument is erected by the state. He was found by the Bureau of Statistics to be one against whom there was no official complaint, and all the reports on his conduct agree that, in the modern sense of an old-fashioned word, he was a saint, for in everything he did he served the greater community. He worked in a factory and never got fired, but satisfied his employers, Fudge Motors, Inc. Yet he wasn't a scab or odd in his views, for his union reports that he paid his dues. Our report on his union shows it was sound. And our social psychology workers found that he was popular with his mates and liked to drink. The press are convinced that he bought a paper every day and that his reactions to advertisements were normal in every way. Policies taken out in his name prove that he was fully insured, and his health card shows he was once in hospital but left it cured. Both Producers Research and High Grade Living declare he was fully sensible to the advantages of the instalment plan and had everything necessary to the modern man: a phonograph, a radio, a car, and a Frigidaire. Our researchers into public opinion are content that he held the proper opinions for the time of year. When there was peace, he was for peace. When there was war, he went. He was married and added 5 children to the population, which our eugenist says was the right number for a parent of his generation. And our teachers report that he never interfered with their education. Was he free? Was he happy? The question is absurd. Had anything been wrong, we should certainly have heard. Page 528, Richard Lovelace to Lucasta, on going to the wars. Tell me not, sweet, I am unkind, that from the nunnery of thy chaste breast and quiet mind to war and arms I fly. True, a new mistress now I chase, the first foe in the field, and with a stronger faith embrace a sword, a horse, a shield. Yet this inconstancy is such as you too shall adore. I could not love thee, dear, so much, loved I not honour more.
Chapter 17, Imagery, page 569, by Ezra Pound, in a station of the metro. The apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bough.
Also on page 569, Taniguchi Busan, The Piercing Chill I Feel. The piercing chill I feel, my dead wife's comb in our bedroom under my heel.
On page 571 by T.S. Eliot, The Winter Evening Settles Down. The winter evening settles down with smell of steaks and passageways. 6 o'clock. The burnt-out ends of smoky days. And now a gusty shower wraps the grimy scraps of withered leaves about your feet, and newspapers from vacant lots. The showers beat on broken blinds and chimney pots, and at the corner of the street a lonely cab horse steams and stamps, and then the lighting of the lamps.
Page 576, Jean Toomer, Reapers. Black reapers with the sound of steel on stones are sharpening scythes. I see them place the hones in their hip pockets as a thing that's done, and start their silent swinging one by one. Black horses drive a mower through the weeds, and there a field rat, startled, squealing, bleeds, his belly close to ground. I see the blade, blood-stained, continue cutting weeds and shade.
On page 576 by Gerard Manley Hopkins, Pied Beauty. Glory be to God for dappled things, for skies of couple color as a brinded cow, for rosemoles all in stipple upon trout that swim. Fresh fire coal, chestnut falls, finches' wings, landscape plotted and pieced, fold, fallow, and plough, and all trades, their gear, and tackle, and trim. All things counter, original, spare, strange. Whatever is fickle, freckled, who knows how, with swift, slow, sweet, sour, a dazzle, dim. He fathers forth whose beauty is past change. Praise him.
Page 582, H.D., Hilda Doolittle, Heat. O wind, rend open the heat, cut apart the heat, rend it to tatters. Fruit cannot drop through this thick air. Fruit cannot fall into heat that presses up and blunts the points of pears and rounds the grapes. Cut the heat, plough through it, turning it on either side of your path.
Chapter 18, Figures of Speech. Page 585 by Alfred Lord Tennyson, The Eagle. He clasps the crag with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands. Ringed with the azure world he stands. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls, he watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls.
Page 589, also by Alfred Lord Tennyson, Flower in the Crannied Wall. Flower in the crannied wall, I pluck you out of the crannies. I hold you here, root and all, in my hand. Little flower, but if I could understand what you are, root and all in all, I should know what God and man is.
Page 590 by William Blake, To See a World in a Grain of Sand. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour.
And page 593, James Stephens, The Wind. The wind stood up and gave a shout. He whistled on his fingers, and kicked the withered leaves about, and thumped the branches with his hand, and said he'd kill and kill and kill, and so he will, and so he will.
Page 599 by Robert Frost, The Silken Tent. She is, as in a field, a silken tent. At midday, when a sunny summer breeze has dried the dew, and all its ropes relent, so that in guise it gently sways at ease, and its supporting central cedar pole, that is its pinnacle to heavenward, and signifies the sureness of the soul, seems to owe not to any single cord, but strictly held by none, is loosely bound by countless silken ties of love and thought to everything on earth the compass round. and only by one's going slightly taught in the capriciousness of summer air is of the slightest bondage made aware.
Chapter 24, Symbol. Page 705, Thomas Hardy, Neutral Tones. We stood by a pond that winter day, and the sun was white as though chidden of God, and a few leaves lay on the starving sod. They had fallen from an ash and were grey. Your eyes on me were as eyes that rove over tedious riddles of years ago, and some words played between us to and fro, on which lost the more by our love. The smile on your mouth was the deadest thing alive enough to have strength to die, and a grin of bitterness swept thereby, like an ominous bird a wing. Since then, keen lessons that love deceives and rings with wrong have shaped to me your face, and the God-cursed sun, and a tree, and a pond edged with greyish leaves.
Page 708, by Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference.
Page 709, Christina Rossetti, Uphill.
Does the road wind uphill all the way?
Yes, to the very end.
Will the day's journey take the whole long day?
From morn to night, my friend.
But is there for the night a resting place?
A roof, for when the slow dark hours begin.
May not the darkness hide it from my face?
You cannot miss that inn.
Shall I meet other wayfarers at night?
Those who have gone before.
Then must I knock or call when just in sight?
They will not keep you standing at that door.
Shall I find comfort, travel sore and weak?
Of labour you shall find the sun.
Will there be beds for me and all who seek?
Yea, beds for all who come.
Page 711, Theodore Retke, Night Crow. When I saw that clumsy crow flapped from a wasted tree, a shape in the mind rose up. Over the gulfs of dream flew a tremendous bird, further and further away, into a moonless black, deep in the brain, far back.
Chapter 25, Myth. Page 716, Thomas Hardy, The Oxen. Christmas Eve, and 12 of the clock.